Hello and thank you for joining me. I'm Heather Forgan of stampwithnellie.com. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator based in the UK. Today I am going to show you how to make a lidded box. Now I have to admit that lidded boxes are a bit of my nemesis in that quite often the lid will be so tight that I've got to force it on, or it will be so loose that it will fall off. But as you can see, I've cracked it with this one. So I'm going to be brave and do another one showing you the tip that I got from my crafting friend Jez of Nijeza Creates on how to get the perfect fit, and I'm being brave and doing it in a completely different size to this one. I have used for this some of the Tidings of Christmas designer series paper, which is in the annual catalogue, and I used that because it gave me an excuse to use one of my favourite colours, which is Cherry Cobbler. It's such a rich deep red, and this absolutely gorgeous ribbon, which is in the July to December 2021 mini catalogue. So this designer series paper, as I say, it's in the annual catalogue and has lots of designs in it, as you would expect, and they're not all Christmassy, as I made this card with the papers from the same pack as this one. So check that out. There's loads of lovely papers in that, and the colours in the pack are Cherry Cobbler, Evening Evergreen, Misty Moonlight, Sahara Sand, Soft Succulent and Whisper White. So as you can see, we've got stripes, we've got gorgeous Christmassy patterns, we've got some snowflakes, and we've got trees, loads of lovely patterns in there. This is the one that I'm going to use for my next box, the one I'm going to make just now. So all of the dimensions for this particular size of box will be on my blog post, as will the new one that I'm going to make. Again, sticking with Cherry Cobbler so that I can use that gorgeous ribbon, and I've already gone ahead and prepped the pieces that I need. So this particular box is 2 inches tall and is 3.5 inches that way. The one I'm going to make is smaller. So I've got my pieces already cut out. So this is a 6x6 piece, and this piece here is for the lid is 4 9/16. Now I'm going to show you on my trimmer, even although I've already cut it, how to get that measurement, because it's a bit of a strange measurement, but it is key. So 4.5 is 4 8/16, and then I want to put it one spot further along. So let me bring that right up, but try and not get the glare. So we've got 4.5, and then I've just put it to that next little line, which is a 1/16 of an inch, and cut that at that point. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. So I'm going to bring in my Simply Scored, and on the larger piece I want to score that at 1.5 inches on all 4 sides. Just the easiest way to do it, and make sure that your corners are perfectly square. With the little bit that I've just shown you, I am going to do that at 3/4 of an inch. Now you definitely want to do it this way, and that makes sure that that extra bit that we measured, that extra 1/16 of an inch, is in the centre. Oops. And if I'd done 3/4 of an inch and 3/4 of an inch there, it might not be perfect. So that's the way to do it on each side. Now, if like me, you've gone off because you weren't really paying attention, I'm going to cover that with some designer series paper anyway. But if you just run your tool on the reverse side of that, you'll kind of flatten it back out again. You still see a little shiny mark, but you can't actually feel it now when you do that. So another little tip. Bringing in my snips, I'll do the bottom bit first. In fact, I'll do the best bit and burnish those first. There we go. And when I'm doing that, I'm just making sure that I've got my edges lined up properly. So I'll do both of those before I come in and do the snipping. Okay, so finish with that. I'm cutting straight up that score line there, okay, like that. And then I'm just taking a wedge out and taking the score line away with it. And I'll just take a little wedge on this side too. Okay, I like to pinwheel, and that means I don't have to worry about whether that went and I've got too much bulk on that side. If I did my tab to the same side, you sometimes need to chop a bit off because they overlap. It wouldn't on this one, or would it actually? No, it wouldn't. But yeah, so I like to pinwheel it. So if I do it that way, I've done that way, turn it round and just do exactly the same. Oops, sorry about that, I caught the cable. Charging my phone at the same time as filming today. Okay, chopping that bit off as well, and then just turning it round again, do exactly the same. Just gives it less of a bulk in the same area on the inside of your box. Nice and easy. Now, I haven't actually taken that score line out on that, so I'm just going to trim that a little bit more, like that. Okay, so that's that one. I'm going to do exactly the same on here. Straight up, chop, chop. Oh gosh, did the same again with my cable. Sorry about that. Come on. Okay, so I've got all of those pieces prepped, and I've got my little pieces of that beautiful designer series paper. So see, that's the bit where I had gone off. It's a bit shiny on that bit. Most of it's going to be covered with that piece of designer series paper, so we're all good. So I've got 4 pieces And that's the lid. And the best thing about this paper is it's non-directional, so I don't have to worry about which way's up when my box gets folded. So I'm just going to go ahead and glue all of those in place. Okay, so I've got those two pieces already decorated, and as I say, doesn't matter which way around the paper goes, which is fabulous. So I'm going to make the box part, the base part, sorry, first. Adding glue to that piece there, and then just folding that around and lining up those edges nice and neatly, like so. Do the next one, adding in my glue, bringing that round, lining it up nice and neatly, pressing it firmly in place. Now these ones I'm going to do both at the same, add glue rather at both of those at the same time, because it's just easier. Okay, and then fold that, hold it in place, press down firmly, and then the last one, nice neat edge, press down firmly. And as you see, I've only got one tab on the inside of each side there. Not quite got that one right. And again, this is why I use liquid glue. If something's not totally right, you can quite easily, if you're quick enough, peel it apart and do it again. Okay, so here's the trick. And take that bit off. What I'm going to do is add glue to the inside of all of these tabs. And to make sure I get an absolutely perfect fit, I'm building the lid around the base of the box. Okay, so bring that round, got a nice neat fit there. Do the same here and there and there. Okay, now you might have a little bit overhanging on one of those edges, and that is fine because you can trim that off, but you get such a neat fit doing it that way. Okay, mine are actually okay. Oh, that one's just a little bit. Where's my snips? There. So I can take just that tiny slither off there, make it as neat as I can, but it's a perfect fit. Not going to fall off easily, but will come off when I want it to. Okay, so got the large one, got my smaller one. The great thing about this particular one is that I think, I forgot measurements right, it will take 8 scented tea lights in there perfectly, and it only uses one sheet of your designer series paper to cover the box there. Okay, so you've got your gift inside. For me, that paper is enough decoration. I don't want to put too much more on, but this ribbon really steps it up. So simply, fairly tight, but not too tight, because you do want to be able to slide it off. Okay, that's fine. Just trim off the excess. So, and I had a little tag for mine, and I wanted to just add a little bit of extra decoration, but I wanted it to still have the same designer series paper, but be able to write on the back of it. And to do that, I've used a piece of white card and my designer series paper, and I glued them together before I do my die cutting. Okay, just adding that on like so. My die is actually from the Pretty Pillow Box set of dies. There's a lovely little tag in there, and you've got these 4 little flowers. Now I've already gone ahead and cut out the flowers with Cherry Cobbler cardstock, ready for me to add once I've cut out my tag. So bringing just my mini will do for this. Doesn't really matter where it goes, to be perfectly honest, because I've added glue all over it, and a lot of it's going to be covered by that flower. But it's just to tone it in a little bit more. And a die perfectly happy to cut through that 2 layers of card and designer series paper. In fact, I used thick Whisper White for that. So just shows you how good the dies are at cutting through multiple layers on that. I'm going to put that back before I lose it. These dies are lovely. They do make the cutest little packages as well. So I've got that. I just want to add a little bit of glue on the centre of these little flowers. Just building them up. Delicate balance of too much glue oozing out and not enough glue and it coming apart. The glue does dry clear anyway, so it's not a huge issue if you've got some excess glue. There, add some glue all the way around the back, pop that in the centre, give it a good press, not going to go anywhere hopefully. And I tied that on with just some of this gorgeous trim, which is from the Simply Elegant trim pack. Comes in gold and silver, but because we've got gold in that gorgeous Cherry Cobbler ribbon, actually I don't want to do it that way, I want to do it this way, and just tie that around there. I've gone far too big. That gives me plenty to play with. For tying that, again, chop off that excess. And there we go. Pretty little boxes. This one, as I say, is 1.5 inches by 3 inches. This one's 2 inches by 3.5 inches. All of the dimensionals for both boxes and a list of the products that I've used will be in my blog post. You can click on the description bar below to check that out. I hope you've enjoyed this. If you have, give me a thumbs up, leave me a comment. If you're new to my channel, please do click on that subscribe button. Thank you so much for watching. Until the next time, bye.